Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and in this video I'm going to show you how to change a bandsaw blade, or at least the blade on my bandsaw. The setup is usually fairly similar on most machines, but bear in mind this is only a small one. But it's just you know, to kind of demonstrate how to change a blade on most bandsaws. Okay, so I've got my new blade here, and this is my last one, so I'm going to have to order some more. But I am going to need to use this machine on the shamisen and sanshin builds, but I'm going to try and use it as little as possible, because the reason I'm changing the blade is the one that's on it right now is burnt out, completely blunt, and that's from, you know, cutting some of the wood for this shamisen and sanshin build, and I wore it out. So I am still going to need it, but I'm going to try and limit the use of it because this is my last blade and I don't want to burn another one out. Okay, so enough waffling, let's crack on with the blade change. So I'll just zoom in a bit, not too much about that, put some more light on. Okay, so changing a blade on a bandsaw. Right, first and foremost, make sure it's unplugged. Check. Okay, that's not plugged in, so I'm not going to lose any digits today. Right, so the first thing you need to do when changing the blade is slacken the tension off the blade. Now this one, can't quite see it, but there's a knob on the top which you turn to take the tension off the blade. I've already done that. So we've got two covers on this machine, the top and the bottom. So open these up, so turn the dial at the side here and that opens up, and the same with the bottom one. So we open that up, and now you can see the mechanism and where the blade sits. Okay, so as I said, I've already slackened the blade off, so there's no tension on the blade. There's a guard here which goes over the blade, so we pull that back out of the way, and on the table here we've got a stop right at the front, so we need to unscrew that, take that out. I'll just put that screw back in there, and put that to one side. Okay, so now that the tension is off the blade, it will come off very easily. So we just slide it off the top wheel there and guide it out the front, and this side there's also a guide here to keep the blade in the right alignment, so we need to take it out of there as well, and off the bottom wheel, and there it is, it's off. Really simple. Oh my god, that blade is trashed. Wow. Yeah, there's very little left of the teeth on that blade, so it definitely needed changing. So I'll dispose of that properly later. Right, so new blade going on in the exact reverse. So I'll put it through this slot first on the table, and then put it through this guide at the back here. Okay. So then I'll get it on the bottom wheel. Just put everything in more or less in line. Okay, so get it into the guides, top and bottom, and onto the. You need about 3 pairs of hands to do this, to hold the blade in place. Okay. Let's just clean that bottom guide out. Okay, that's better. Okay. So, it's kind of on there. Oh, there we go. Popped off again. Okay. So that guide is quite important to keep everything in alignment. blade, it might be slightly smaller than the other one, where the old one might have stretched a bit. Okay, right, so that's kind of there. So now just tighten this wheel up a bit, making sure everything stays in line. So just tighten that wheel up a bit, the tensioner, and make sure everything rolls around the way it should. Looks good. I'm not going to tension this all the way up, I just want to hold the blade in place. Make sure everything's lined up the way it should be. Let's just clean that guide out a bit. To be about right. Okay, that's it done. So I make sure I put this guide back across there. That's in place, and then close the covers. Just going to tension that blade a bit more. Okay. Right, close the covers. Oh, I need to put that stop back on the end of the table there. So just put that in place. Right, so I'm going to lower this down now. Okay, lock that in place. Okay, so is that going to reach the extension there? It should do. Just. Okay, so plugged in. Okay, so switch on now, make sure everything's working right. Yeah, it's rubbing a little bit on these guides, the top and bottom there, so I'll have to probably make some adjustment there. But yeah, that's it, it's done. So it's quite simple really to change a blade on a bandsaw. You just got to make sure that everything's in proper alignment. Ooh. And you know, be aware of all the safety. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, so I hope that's been of some help to some of you. You know, if you're quite new to this, but it is pretty straightforward. There's not really anything to it. You don't need any tools or anything. You just have to be aware of, you know, all the guides, the guards, the safety and everything. You know, make sure everything's properly in alignment, and you've got all your safety guards in place. Other than that, it's really straightforward. Okay, so I'd like to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and it's been of some help to some of you. And pretty soon I'm going to be continuing with the shamisen sanshin project, so look out for those videos. In the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other. We will see you soon. Peace out.